I'm Rossco. Today we're going to go through how to mount an underslung basin. For our demonstration purposes, we're going to pretend that this piece of wood is the granite slab. This is actually a kitchen basin, and your first step in preparing your basin for undermount, we're going to just help the glue stick to the basin. So you take a small bit of P100 or P80 and you rough up the top edge of your basin. Fairly simple and easy. Once you've done that, clean off the dust using acetone. You can also clean off the underside of your granite slab using acetone. Acetone's very effective because it removes any fat or oils, and those are a real problem for glues. Okay, so you've got your roughed up top edge, your clean underside of your slab. We then apply the glue. Our favorite glue is high-tech. The reason we like it is that it stays slightly flexible, but it's very, very strong. So some glues set rock hard, but if there's a sharp knock, that very hard glue can shatter or break. This remains slightly flexible over a long period of time. So that's a marvelous glue. If you're stuck, there is another brand, Worth, also sell a high-tech, also very good. We tested it, but stay away from brands like No More Nails. They just don't, it doesn't work, and you're going to end up with a problem. Okay, so you take the glue, you apply it to the top of your basin. You can then slide the basin underneath your granite slab. It is a heavy basin, maybe prop it up on a bucket or a few books, so it's more or less in position sitting underneath your granite slab. At this point, I'm just going to talk quickly about cutting the hole in your granite slab. This actually gives you your final look, and a neatly cut hole is very important for a professional finish. It's good also to cut the hole slightly smaller than the inside of your basin. It makes the shadow line, it just looks 10 times better. You don't see your silicone, it just looks much nicer. Also, it's very hard to do by hand. So if you do have a granite company, maybe just check that they've got a CNC cutter and they're going to cut it nice and professionally for you. Put in nice little radiuses. Very hard to do by hand. Okay, so you've got your nice granite. The basin's now sitting underneath your slab. Here comes the trick. You make a wire loop. You try and check. This is a doubled up 1.2 or 1 more wire. And you check that it's more or less going to fit more or less the right height. Make like a loop and make sure it's nicely well woven into a loop structure. Then what you can do, you get a broomstick. Get a proper wood broomstick because it needs to be quite strong. And the short side of the loop, we're going to twist it and put that through and below the basin, coming up to the top, and then your top stick is going to sit flush or just slightly loose above your granite slab. You then take a screwdriver, twists the wire so it pulls that last bit up, so that it's then nicely held into position by the force of the wire pulling the bottom of your basin up against the granite slab. The really nice thing about this system is you can then stand back and have a look at your basin and make sure it's in the right position. You know, if you turn your slab upside down and you try and mount the basin first that way, it's virtually impossible to see if you've got it right. So this technique guarantees that you can have a visual on what you're doing and that it's 100% correct. Okay, so now your basin's nice in position. You've got to wait overnight for it to set. But before you do that, clean away excess. Although this is marvelous glue, it does yellow over time. So you don't want to use it for what we call beading. So take a thing, scrape away excess, clean it nicely that you don't have any leftover high-tech on the inside of your basin. The next day you can cut the wire and do a final bead with bath silicone or a quality. We quite like this one. It's a high quality bath silicone. It's usually got a bit of a germicide in there so it doesn't go black. And that's what you bead with. So you bead then on the inside and that's your installation done.